further. favorite yarn. Hey, okay, so these are my favorite yarns, and I'm going to show you guys how to make some yarn cakes using these yarns. To make some beautiful tops. I have a dress I posted in my YouTube channel. That dress is very much appreciated because of the color combinations. I made the colors myself, using my yarn winders and this yarn. Okay, so I don't know what yarn this is because it's in Chinese language. South African comatose hair. Okay, so I got this from China, and so this is I couldn't translate all of this, except I use Google to translate all of that. But I love the yarn a lot. It's lightweight, and I use them to make some yarn cakes and to make a beautiful dress and a top. I have that in my YouTube channel on short and long form video how to make them. So I'll show you how to make the cakes, the yarn cakes. And here we have another type of yarn. I love this yarn too. I use it for my flower tutorials like this. So I make the flower tutorial, I make the flowers, and then I use them to make a dress, a top, skirts. So I have all that in my YouTube channel. The tutorial is on my YouTube channel in a long form video, and you go to my short videos, you're going to see the amazing projects I did with these flowers. And using these yarns, I made the yarn cakes myself, and then I made the dress, the top, all of it. So here you first of all make the flowers, and you now use the flowers to make the dresses or anything you want to do with it. Okay, so this flower here I made with this yarn. All right, so I love to use this yarn too. I got this from China. I don't know what brand this is because it's in Chinese language. Okay, but I love it. It's very soft on skin and it's lightweight. All right, and this too very lightweight. So I used it to the yarn cakes. And I made a yellow dress. You saw my channel. It's a combination of yellow, pink, and green cakes I made. So I'm going to show you how to use these colors and make a yarn cake with it. Okay, shortly. All right. So red, yellow, white, orange, and this is a cinnamon. Yes. So I'm going to use them to make some yarn cakes, and I'll show you how I did those beautiful yarn cakes with the color combinations. Okay, and I'm going to make some amazing flowers with this, and you're going to see. So for those who are just joining, I was doing a skirt, a simple skirt, beginners friendly. So if you're a crocheter, you do the skirt. It's simple for beginners, and after doing the skirt, you now trace out the parts where you want to do. This is where the skirt ended, and after that I traced out the parts where I needed to do the ruffles. Okay, so the ruffles, I'm using a clam stitch. I use a clam stitch to do the ruffles. As you can see, this clam stitch is just a combination of front post double crochet and a shell stitch, and then you can make increases along the line. And when you have it as large as you want, you continue crocheting without increases, like what I was doing here. I stopped making the increases somewhere around here, and I continue crocheting. So this is a very time consuming project. So those who are just coming in, I'll just show you how I did this project, and I'm going to show you how to do the yarn cakes. And from the yarn cakes, so you can make yarn cakes by yourself, as long as you have lightweight yarn. You can make yarn cakes yourself, even if it's so what's your weight, or it all depends on you. So Yarn cakes is just a combination of colors, um, of like color consistency anyway. So when making yarn cakes, it's advisable to do multiple balls, so that if you're working on a project, for example, like this, where you have to go through like this color scheme, so it's always good to make a ball that is large enough, or you do twice, so that the first one you're going to use for the first round of the color scheme, and the second ball you use for the second round of the color scheme, like what I was doing here. So I'm doing this because I do not have a yarn cakes from this set, from this yarn. Okay, but I needed to do color combinations like this, so I just decided to use single yarns and then changing the colors as I wished. So if not, but if you have a yarn cake, I'll show you an example of yarn cake, what I mean by yarn cakes. Okay, so this is an example of what I mean by yarn cake. This is an example of yarn cakes. Okay, so 100 grams, 193 meters. You can use 3.5 millimeter hook or 3 millimeter hooks. I think it's 45% acrylic and 55% cotton. Yeah. Okay, so you see the color combinations, meaning that you can use this yarn to do something like this. All right, you see the colors as it pop out, so you can start from here and finish up, or you start from here and finish up like so. You start from inside and finish outside, or you start from outside and finish. So you see that the color combinations from inside out and outside in is somehow different. Okay, so this is what I mean by yarn cake. So but I didn't like to use this yarn for this project because this yarn is heavy, and this project takes a lot of yarn and a lot of rounds. So imagine you having this yarn for this project, so your project is going to be very heavy, and if you don't want to wear a dress and you're not comfortable in it, so that's why I went ahead to use this acrylic yarn. Is very, very light. So as you can see the texture, look at the texture. As you can see this, look at that. This is more of cotton and this is more of acrylic. Okay, so you see that this one, using this one will be very light, and using this one your project will be very heavy. Okay, so yeah. All right, so here's yarn cake that I got, and this is what I made myself. Okay, so I used this yarn to do this. So I have different colors of them, and I decided to use them to make yarn cakes according to how I wanted them to be. Okay, so here's another color combinations I did. Look at how beautiful this is now. So brown, yellow, white, and I think there's also beige, and then this. So you see that this is like this is more of browns and yellows and beige, and this is another skin, almost alike, but there's a slight difference to it. Okay, so I use this yarn to make them myself. This is what I use to make them. All right, it's a very lightweight, it's like a four yarn. I used it to do the yarn cakes because I needed the yarn cakes. I didn't have yarn cakes for that, so I used this yarn to do them, and I'm going to show you shortly how to do the yarn cakes using these colors, and I'll show you how to do yourself. So you don't need to worry yourself if you don't have yarn cakes. Like what I was doing, I didn't have yarn cakes, and yarn I have was this lightweight, but I decided to use like this and the color combination myself. But this is already made yarn cakes, but it's very heavy. This is milk cotton, so I didn't want this for this project because it was going to be very heavy. At the end of the day, you want your project to be very light, so that when you wear it on skin, it's going to be good on your skin. All right, so yeah, I bought this like this. But if I want the same yarn cake, these color combinations, I can do them myself. Like this, I can use these yarns and make these yarn cakes myself. Okay, you just like these three colors. Okay, so I can come up with something like this. All right, so I'll put this aside. So, okay, I'm just going to do one more round of this. Then I'm going to do the yarn cake. I'll show you how to use these yarns to make yarn cakes, and I'll show you how to do the yarn cakes to make these beautiful flowers. And I have a tutorial for the dress I made using the flowers I made using the yarn cakes. It's a very beautiful dress and top, so you can go later on my channel to check out the tutorial of the dress I made. Okay, so I posted that on my short videos and my long form video tutorial. Okay, so you can always go back and check for that beautiful piece. All right, so this is just a clam stitch I'm doing. Clam stitch is just a combination of front post double crochet and shell stitch. All right, so I'm skipping the first two chains because I'm not making any increases. The next 4 double crochet or the next 4 chains, I'm making 1 double crochet like this, and in here in between the shell stitch I'm going to make a shell stitch. Shell stitch is just 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets, while a V stitch is just 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Okay, so this, and I'm skipping the last 2. We still have 1 chain here. We'll skip the last 2, and here we'll do a front post double crochet. So that's basically it. So for this project I'm going to put it aside first, and I'm going to show you how to do these beautiful yarn cakes using my yarn winder. So I have my yarn winder here. Yeah, that's my yarn winder. All right, so I'm going to be using my yarn winder. Here we have a yarn winder, and I'll do the crochet the yarn cakes, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I'm turning my camera because I want to show you my yarn winder, where my yarn winder is, and I'm going to be using this yarn to make the yarn cakes. All right, so for better viewing, I'm going to turn back my camera, and I'll take it off my yarn winder for now, and we'll come back. Okay, all right, so I'll put this aside first. See how far I've gone. Okay, this is how far I've done. This is, I started somewhere here, and so this is how much how I've gone for the day. See how that is much. Look at it. Look at how look how much that is. So I still have this way to go. Okay, I'll put this aside. All right, I'll take this on one side. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the beautiful yarn cakes using this yarns. All right, I'm using this colors. I'm using 4 colors. So I'll just look at how thin that yarn is. Look at how small it is. Okay, so I'm going to be tripling the yarn. The volume I want is triple, but you can go ahead and make it a quadruple, you know, if you want it thick enough. Okay, so I'll take this out. I'm going to start with the brown. Yep, I want to start with the brown color. I'll take this out. So I'll get the inside yarn, and I'll sort out the outside yarn. Okay, and I'll join. So I'm going to making combination of 4 strands, 4 ply. Okay, all right. So this is, we have 3 here, and I'm going to get the other one. So 4, I want 4 ply. So for the previous ones I did 3 ply, so I'm going to try the 4 ply. Okay, and I'm going to use a yarn cakes to do these beautiful flowers, which can be used to make a dress, a top, a skirt, whatsoever you please. Okay, so here we have 4 strands. Okay, remember we're doing yarn cakes, and you're going to see the reason why I use 4 strands. Okay, using this yarn, because to make the color transition, we'll have to take out one strand from this. We'll be left with 3, and we're now taking 1 strand from here. We add and wrap for about 2 meters. That's to make the beauty of the color transition. And after wrapping 2 meters away, we now take the other strand and like 3 strands and mix with this, while leaving out 1 strand of the brown to get a beautiful color transition. All right, so I'll start with the brown first, and I'm going to show you how to do the color transition to make the beauty of the yarn cake. Okay, so right away my yarn winder is here. This is my yarn winder. This is my winder. So I'm going to insert my yarn in the yarn winder like this. Okay, so this is how you insert your yarn in your yarn winder. just stretch out the feet. Okay, so that you see that. So this is, and then you want to pull this really hard so that it won't move when you're winding. And then you take your yarn, insert your yarn here well. You can wrap if you wish. Just wrap once to secure that. Okay, don't worry, when you're done, this is going to come out like here, like the inner strand. Okay, so you now put it in your, how's that? You see? Okay, so now our yarn is set in a yarn winder, and I'm just going to start winding. But here you want to tension your yarn, just hold it like this. Okay, you need to support it with your hands to tension the yarn. Okay, I'll just wrap this up. So you start wrapping. Start winding. So, oops, there's an error. Ooh. Okay, guys, that was I have it. Sorry about that. I'm going to place my yarn winder again, and I'll continue wrapping. So one strand came out. I had to adjust the strand. I'm making yarn cakes, guys. My yarn winder, oops, got disconnected. So having that fixed, showing you how to make yarn cakes. I'll just fix that and okay, so from here I'm going to introduce a new color, and this is for the sake of the yarn transition, the color transition. Okay, so since we have 4 strands here, I'm going to take out one of the strands and I'll introduce a new color. All right, and that is going to give a beautiful transition, okay, for the yarn cake. So I'll take out one color, which is cut out one, put it aside, and I'm going to attach the new color to the one I took out. All right, the one I cut out, and continue wrapping So you're going to see how that turn out. Cut out the excess. Okay, so we now have a new color. I'll put that somewhere around there for smooth wrapping. Okay, now so see how this is going to turn out. Look at how the new color is going to pop in, guys. All right, so we still have the brown. Now we're going to go in with a new wrap, and you're going to see the new color coming in, and you see how that is going to change the beauty of the yarn, or the yarn combination or the cake. Okay, now watch out. See, the new color is coming in now, okay, which is the orange. And orange, see how it blends well with the brown. Okay, but you can still use white or beige and then go in with white, depends on you, but I chose to do orange, and it also blends well with the cinnamon color. All right, so we'll continue winding. You see, look at the transition we have here now. See that? Okay, so you want to wrap for a while. So because I'm not having any measurement for the color combination, so that I can do different balls of yarn with the same consistency, I'm just going to make a very big ball of yarn so that I can use it for a big project, a huge project, without worrying about the color differences. Okay, so it's going to be a very big ball. So I'll continue wrapping. So I'll wrap for a while. So while I'm wrapping with the same consistency of winding the yarn winder, I will just count, say 20 or 30 for each color combination, and when I reach 30, I now introduce a new color. Okay, so okay. Oops. This thing keeps coming out. So 20. So I counted 20, and at 20 I'm going to change the yarn color, the color combination. Okay, so we have introduced the orange into the brown, and so now we want to go with orange. So we'll take out the brown, but in a transitional way. Okay, we're not just going to take out the brown completely. So we will take out two strands of brown. We will take out two strands of brown. Okay, and we'll introduce two strands of the orange color, because now we want orange color. We are going to take out two strands of a yarn of the brown. I'll cut out the brown. Okay, and so we are left with one brown, and I'm going to introduce two strands of the orange color. Okay, so I'm going to introduce two strands of the orange color, because right now we want more of the orange color. So this is where I cut out. I'm just going to join from here. Now tie. All right, so here we have, so here will be the color transition. So we have, you see that we have three strands of orange and one strand of brown left. So here we had three strands of brown and one strand of orange. Okay, so it's going to be on the opposite now. So I'm going to do that, and you see how turns out. But first I'll take out the yarn I cut out. Put this color aside. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the color. So here we had three browns, one orange. So when I introduced a new color already, added two orange, reduced two brown. So we're going to have opposite of this. So I'm going to wrap. Remember, for a consistent quantity of wraps, I'm counting. I'm doing a count of 20 while wrapping. Okay, slowly, not fast. All right, so that at the end of the day I'll have a consistency of the color changing, so that in case I'm making another ball of yarn cake, they're going to be similar. All right, the weight, the size, they're going to, and the color transition are going to be similar to each other. Okay, so here I'm going to now introduce a new color, the three colors I added, and I'm going to start counting 1 to 20 while doing the wrapping. Okay, so 1, oh sorry, this yarn here sticky. All right, so we're 2, so I'm going to continue counting 3. Oops. Oh, I'll just fasten on my yarn winder. All right, 4. Okay, now look at how the color is changing. We are now having more of the orange colors than the brown colors. All right, so we just have 1 strand of brown and 3 strands of orange. All right, so I'm showing you how to do a beautiful yarn cakes with the yarn to have around you. All right, so yeah, I'm using these yarns with different colors, and the strands are really small. I'm using 4 strands, and I'm making yarn cake with them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oops, 13, 14, 15, sorry about that, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, it keeps coming out because I'm not using a wooden table. Oh, that's why it's coming out. So I'm going to take out the brown color completely. All right. So I'm going to I'll add another strand of the orange color so that we'll have a complete orange. I'll add another strand of the orange color. This is it. And at this point we'll have 4 strands of orange colors. So this is the brown we took out. So I'm going to tie it onto the brown. And after that, I'm going to introduce the red color. Cut out the excess. Right, pull this tight and make sure it's secure here. Okay, so see how that is going to change, guys. As usual, we're counting, but yes, you already have enough orange here. We're just going to count 1 to 10. We're not counting up to 20, we just count 10. All right, and after 10 we'll now introduce the red color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to introduce now the new color, and having it all orange, okay, means that when you're making the flowers you have a complete orange flower. Okay, you're going to have flowers that are multicolors, orange, brown, but now the reason why we are rounding all orange so that when you make the flowers you can have a complete flower complete with one color, you know. So I'll just add 2 rounds. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce the red color. Here we'll take out 1 strand of the orange. We'll cut out 1 strand of the orange, and we'll introduce 1 strand of the red color. So here we have our red color. We're going to introduce 1 strand, just 1 strand for now, and we'll wrap 10. So this is a red, this is 1 strand. We'll add it onto the orange, and for the red we're going to wrap 10 rounds, or wrap while counting 1 to 10 or 20, because we don't want too much orange. All right, so we'll count just 10. And after that we are going to cut out 2 orange strands and add 2 strands of red. I'm going to wrap. While wrapping, I'm going to count 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3. So you see what is happening there. Look at how it's changing. making some beautiful yarn cakes. Okay, we're almost done with this. We're almost done with this cake. So almost done with this cake. Oh. Oops. So when it starts rubbing down around here, you know that it's time to take it out. But I will just do a little wrap again because I want it as large as it could be. So I'm working on the tensioning, making sure it's not too light to overwrap. So as you can see, because I'm working on the tension, I can add more yarn, adding more and more and more and more and more. Oops, no. So and here you know that done. So I'm struggling with the table because it's not a wooden table, and I have this mat of table nap. So oops, that's why machine keeps dangling. But see how beautiful our cake turned out. I'm just trying to add more. Yeah. Oops. Yes. I think that's it. Oops. Okay, so I think that's it for the cake. We have a big enough, and I'm going to take it out. I'll just cut out the leftover yarn like this, and I'm going to take out my yarn from the yarn winder, and we'll see how that turned out beautifully. Okay, and from here, if you want it larger, but since it's already large enough here, we're going to leave it at this. But I will advise to have the same consistency. You do the same like I did, or you just continue. The next ball or the next cake should be starting from red, and then finishing up with the color that we started with on this one, so that if you're working with a project, this is important. Okay, if you're making your cakes yourself, so that if you're working on a project, you want to make sure that at the end of the day your work will be very smooth and consistent. The colors are going to be consistent. Okay, you don't want to start up a project and you end up somewhere lacking colors. All right, so that's why it's important that when you're making your yarn cakes, you have to make sure that you make an amount that can go around your project. Okay, like what we ended here, I'll just take this out of the yarn winder. See how that turned out beautifully. Look at how beautiful that is. Ooh la la. Look at how beautiful and solid your cake is. See how that turned out. Oh, give us a thumbs up, guys. I don't see a thumbs up. Send us a message in the comment section. Let me know if this is beautiful, if you find it beautiful. Okay, so we have you see, when you turn this way, look at the color. You have brown, orange, red, and when you turn this way, you see just two color schemes, brown and the red. Okay, so like what I was explaining, if you're watching, guys, give us a thumbs up. Was that beautiful? How did I turn out? How did it turn out? Let me know in the comment section how that came out. Okay, so I'm taking out my yarn winder and I'll put that aside. So I'm putting on one aside. Okay, see how this came out beautifully. Oh my goodness, look at that. You have brown and then we have red. There's orange inside, but to see the complete colors when you turn this way, look at that. Look at how beautiful it turned out. Okay, it came out. Okay, or brown, orange, and then red. All right, see how solid that is. Okay, so I use this color, and the red color to make this cake. All right, I make this cake. I just made this using the yarn winder. All right, so guys, let me know what you think about the color we just made. How was the color? How did it turn out? So I used my yarn winder for those who are watching, and I came out with this beautiful color combination, this yarn cake. See, so look at how it turned out. Look at that. When you turn this way, you have brown and red, and this way brown, orange, and red. And see how solid and consistent the wrapping is. It's very solid. Okay, and we're going to use it to make these beautiful flowers. All right, and then when we do the flowers, we're going to use them to make a beautiful dress or a top. Yes, another color combination I just did using my yarn winder. Brown, white, birch, white, brown, yellow. You know, you can start from outside in or you start from inside out, same as this. So this is just like a color transition of inside out and outside in, like what I was explaining here. So since I ended here with the, by the way, if this is beautiful, let me know in the comment section, guys, if you're watching. So like what I was saying here, I ended up with the red color like this. So to make your work consistent, depending on the kind of project you want to work on it, to make sure that you're not short of a particular color while working on a project. So when you end up with red, it's always advisable to do another cake starting up with red and ending up with the same as what you started with here. So here we started with brown like this, and then we went on to orange, and then ended up with red, to make sure that, because we could not wrap bigger cakes because of the smaller size of the yarn winder, we could not wrap bigger cakes. So we ended here. This is how far we could go. So like I was saying, if you want your cakes bigger, or if you want your a continuous project, a continuous color while working on a project, it's always advisable, guys, to make another cake continuing with this, or starting with this color which you ended here with, and then winding inwardly like what you did here. So you start with red, continue with orange, and then end up with the brown. Okay, so that when you're working on a project and along the line and you're not done with this color that you're supposed to finish up with, like the what we're doing before I started showing you how to do this combination. Like here, I didn't have a yarn cake. I didn't have yarn cake for this project. This is yarn cake, but it's not suitable for this project. So I went ahead and used single yarns with different colors. Okay, but if I had a yarn cakes like this, and let's say for example I'm working with this red color and I'm here, like somewhere around here, like this project, as you can see, I started up here. This is where I am, but now I've not finished here. Let's say for example my yarn got finished and I have to continue with the same color like this. I have to continue with the same color, but this color got finished. So how do I do it? That is why it's important. That is why it's very important to make sure you continue or start up a new yarn cake with this same color, wrap enough of it, and then continue with the next color, which was the second color, and then finish up with the first color. All right, so that when you're working, for example, with a project like this, I insist, when you're working on a project like this and your yarn gets finished, you always have a backup to continue up with the same color you are using. So that is why it's important to always continue your yarn cakes with the previous colors you ended. Like what I have here, I got this yarn like this. Okay, it started up with pink, with this color. It's inside, it's not visible from this side. We started up with that color and ended up, for example, with this color. And then there is another ball that starts with this color and ends up with this color. I hope it's clear enough, guys. I hope it's well explicit. Okay, so that is it for the yarn cakes. And the next thing on the list is to show you how to do how to make the flowers with the yarn I just made. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do those beautiful flowers with the yarn we just made. I'll pull this aside and yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make all right. So right now I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful flower. This flower with the yarn cake we just did. Okay, I'll grab my hook. I'm going to get my 3mm hook. So this is a yarn cake we just did. I want to show you now how to make I'll get my size 3 hook. Sorry, I want to show you how to make this beautiful flower using this yarn combination we just did. Okay, and later on this flower will be used to make a dress or a top. You can go to my channel to check what I use these flowers to do with. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the yeah, this is a yarn. I'm going to just put that aside. You can just put that there. Okay. Okay, so I'm showing you how to make this beautiful flower. Sorry, I don't have a yarn blocker, but I'll just place this on it. All right, so we want to make a magic knot. Just wrap around to make a magic knot. Oops, wrap twice, bring in your